Russia has launched a renewed wave of missile and drone strikes targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. According to Reuters reporting dated February 22, multiple regions were affected in the latest attacks. This follows earlier strikes reported on February 17, when Russia hit parts of Ukraine's power grid shortly before diplomatic discussions were scheduled. The change is repetition. Energy infrastructure is again the primary target. Ukrainian officials report damage to electricity generation facilities and transmission systems. The impact was not limited to a single site. Several regions experienced disruption. This indicates continued targeting of national energy capacity rather than a one-time signal. When the first strikes occurred before talks, the structural question was whether timing was the main objective. Now, the pattern is clearer. Renewed attacks suggest sustained pressure on the energy system itself. Energy infrastructure is strategic because it supports multiple sectors at once. Electric grids power military logistics. They sustain industrial production. They enable communications networks. They maintain heating, water supply, and essential civilian services. When energy systems are hit repeatedly, the effects accumulate. Generation plants reduce supply when damaged. Substations disrupt distribution when impaired. Transmission lines fragment the network when struck. Energy networks function as interconnected systems. Damage in one node can strain the whole structure. Repair cycles require time, materials, and skilled labor. Repeated attacks stretch those capacities. The objective does not need to be total blackout. Sustained vulnerability can be sufficient. Escalation thresholds remain important to monitor. A structural shift would include multi-day nationwide blackouts. It would include confirmed collapse of major generation capacity. It would include long-term inability to stabilize grid operations. Those conditions have not been fully confirmed. Restoration efforts are ongoing. However, repetition changes interpretation. The difference between signaling and campaigning is continuity. A single strike can communicate pressure. Repeated strikes indicate sustained targeting logic. Ukraine's grid stability also has broader security implications. Energy infrastructure underpins defense operations during conflict. It also supports civilian endurance. Degradation of the grid increases stress on both fronts simultaneously. Wider European security calculations are influenced by Ukraine's resilience. Energy vulnerability becomes a strategic variable. Authorities confirm damage from the latest strikes. There is no verified report of nationwide system collapse. But the cumulative strain is increasing. This is no longer a single event linked to diplomatic timing. It is a renewed sequence of energy targeting. The structural question is not whether the grid was hit once. It is how sustained pressure reshapes resilience over time. International News Network will continue monitoring for confirmed threshold shifts.